welcome back to Vintage Bungalow. I'm Denise. In this video, I'm going to show you how we ordered, how they came out and measured, and how they installed, and finally the price point of our beautiful new quartz countertops. Now, if you are new to our channel, we purchased our beautiful 1927 vintage bungalow about 6 months ago, and we knew that we wanted to start with the kitchen first, and it needed an update and a little bit of a renovation. Now, we were lucky because the cabinetry, even though it was over 20 years old, is in really good shape, so we didn't need new cabinets. Also, we have beautiful oak flooring, and we didn't need to do anything with that as well. However, the countertops, we needed new countertops because the original range and cooktop were separate, and the cooktop sunk into the countertop, and we needed to get new appliances because the appliances were over 20 years old and they were all failing, and we had to cut the countertop up in order to slide in a new range. So we're like, okay, we need new countertops. So the hardest part was determining what we wanted. And so in our previous homes, we've had laminate, we've had granite, and in our last home, we had Corian. Now, those countertops were already there in the homes that we lived in the past. So this is the first house that we've lived in where we actually got to go out and choose what we wanted. And so it was really exciting. So the first thing we needed to do was go to Home Depot, and we went to Lowe's too to see what was out there and what was available. And I will tell you that Home Depot and Lowe's were very comparable in price point and also what they had in availability as far as choosing, different materials. We ultimately decided to go with Home Depot because that's where we purchased our new appliances. So the first thing we did is we went to go see just what was out there and what everything cost. While we were at Home Depot, we looked at all of the many choices of style and pattern that they had for their tile. They had everything from bold movement to medium movement and to very fine movement in their patterns. They also had quite a few oversized tile samples to look at as well, which was really helpful in determining what your overall countertops are going to look like. The Calcutta Gold, this is what we chose. It is absolutely beautiful, and it has a very subtle gold veining running through the tile. Next, I will show you the price point, and they have all the tiles labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, and G with the price points next to them. Now, we chose Group D, and the price per square footage was $111. However, Home Depot was running a sale, and so we were able to get our countertops for $88 a square foot. After our initial visit to Home Depot, we picked up some brochures while we were there, and this one was really helpful. It was Find the Perfect Countertop for Your Home, and on the inside page, it tells you the different materials that you have to choose from. There's Decton, quartzite, quartz, granite, marble, solid surface, and laminate, and then it gives you reviews of stain resistance, scratch resistance, heat resistance, impact resistance, and cost. So this really helped us when determining what type of countertop we wanted. Also in this brochure, they give you the edging for whichever type of material you choose for your countertop. And since we went with quartz, we were able to choose between eased, bullnose, ogee, bevel, double radius, and half bullnose. Now, I will say this was probably the only negative that I had in the whole Home Depot experience, is that in their store they did not have any examples of solid surface countertops with these edges. All we had to choose from was this drawing, and so it was really hard for us to decide what we wanted. And you didn't need to tell them what you wanted until the day they came to measure the countertops. On that day, you have to let them know that we wanted the Calcutta Gold, which is what we chose, and that we ultimately chose the double radius. And so that's the last chance you have to change your mind on what you want, is the day they come out to measure. And there was also a lot of other helpful information, regarding the different surfaces in this brochure as well. And this was free. They also had these great design books that were free as well. So let's say you wanted to design an entire kitchen. Well, first of all, they have all the different tones that you can pick out for your countertops. And this was also very helpful. Do you want bold movement? Do you want light and airy? And they give you some great ideas. Do you want a waterfall edge or not? So like I said, these were free, and we brought these home and we looked through them, to see, okay, if we have wood tone cabinets, what countertop colors might go good with those. And so this was really helpful. This was another one that was free from Home Depot as well, as you can see. And it also had a lot of great choices in here. And both of these, or all of these brochures, really helped us in determining what products we wanted to use, what sort of colors and patterns that we wanted in our countertops. During our first visit to Home Depot, when we picked up our brochures on the countertops, a wonderful lady that works in the kitchen department said, after you go home and you decide, what you want to do, I need you to measure all of your countertops and then bring those measurements in. And so I drew out photos of our countertops, and I, put all the measurements in, and I wished I would have kept those drawings, and I didn't. But anyway, we took them back in, and so she entered all of that into her computer, and then she was able to tell us what the price of our countertops would be. Because Rick and I are DIYers, we had already taken out our old sink and faucet and countertops before they came out to measure. However, Home Depot will come out and do all these things for you. I'm sure there's probably an additional price involved for that, but I just wanted to throw that out there. This is the case that the gentleman used to bring in all of his equipment when measuring for the countertops. You can see he set up his tripod, and now he has a really, really nice laser level that he uses when measuring for all of the countertops. This process took quite a little bit of time because he had to move the laser very subtly when taking all of these measurements, because you need them to be very precise. And while he was moving the laser, he entered the information on a tablet. So here are a couple of important things to know regarding having your quartz countertops installed. Now, when you're dealing with solid surface, your cabinetry needs to be within 1/8 of an inch completely level. And you don't need to be that precise with laminate because it's a little more bending and forgiving, and laminate is what we had here originally. Now, this house is almost 100 years old and our floors slope in places. That's just the charm of having an old house. However, our cabinetry was not within 1/8 of an inch level, so we had to take our cabinets and do a lot of shimming and to get them within that 1/8 of an inch. So that was a little bit of work to do, but we got it done. The other thing that you need to know is regarding your sink. Now, you need to have your sink purchased and in your home when they come out to measure for your countertops. And you can do overmount and you can do undermount. Now, if you choose an undermount sink, they will install that when they come out to do your countertops. If you do an overmount, that is something that you will need to install on your own. And we chose an overmount sink because I wanted an apron sink. Now, apron sinks, they come down, the apron comes down pretty far, and your lower cabinetry basically needs to be built for an apron sink. And ours wasn't because our cabinetry is over 20 years old. So we had to do an overmount. That was the only way that we could get the apron sink to fit within the existing counter within the existing cabinetry space. And even then we had to do a lot of modifying to part of that cabinet to get it to fit. And so after the countertops were installed, then we ourselves glued it into place. And that will be in the next video when I show you how we did our backsplash tile, and we will show you how we glued the sink in as well. Yay, the truck has arrived with our new countertops. As you can see, this was the first piece that they installed, and they have them covered with plastic for protection. This was my first glimpse of my new countertops, and I was thrilled. This piece was a little bit tricky. There was a little notch in this cabinet top, and so they had a little bit of a time getting it in there, but in the end they got it in and it fit perfectly and it looks beautiful. The next piece that they brought in was the largest piece they did, and this went over top of the Lazy Susan in the corner. You can see the gentleman to the left is mixing up the glue epoxy to glue these down with. Next, they needed to test out the sink. Because we knew ahead of time that they were going to be needing to notch out the countertops on either side of the sink to get a good fit. They took the sink back out and they needed to cut just a little bit of the drywall to properly fit this corner piece in. And here they are cutting the little notches on either side of the countertop for the sink. And now they put the sink back in again. And it fit perfectly. You can see the gentleman to the left of the screen is caulking underneath the countertops, and they also caulk the top as well. And now they're pulling off the rest of the plastic, and my beautiful countertops are done. I love them. They're perfect and they're beautiful. So now let's talk price and cost. So the day that you take your measurements in for your countertops, they enter all of that in the computer, and when you order them, you pay upfront the total price. Now what they do is they add an additional $250 onto this price in the event you need an oversized piece. And they really won't know until they come out and look at your countertops to measure them whether or not you will need that. Now in our case, we were lucky. We didn't need that oversized piece because they were able to piece in a very small piece that ran along the back side of the sink. Also, our measurements were off slightly and we over measured, so we were also refunded an additional $88. So our total cost initially was $3,500 when we ordered our countertops, but when they deducted the $250 and the $88, we ended up paying $3,100 total for our counters. And I want to say that we are not affiliated with Home Depot, nor do we get any commissions. We just did this video to help anyone else out there who may be considering ordering solid surface countertops from Home Depot. We had a really positive and good experience with them, and I would recommend them. They did great. Now, if you are new to our channel, you may want to consider subscribing so that you can watch our previous videos leading up to this point, and also our next couple videos, which will lead to the final reveal of our beautiful kitchen renovation. Now, my husband Rick is not in this particular video, but he's in a lot of them. But Rick and I would like to thank you all so much for watching today's video. We love you guys, and we will see you all soon. Goodbye.